Hi, in this video we're going to talk about qualitative research methods to learn more about your users and to understand what is valuable to them and why. Hi, I'm Arushi and welcome to my channel. I have several years of work experience as a product manager, and this video is a part of a series of videos where I cover the core techniques for building the most important skill for a PM, user empathy. User research is a very broad topic that covers the entire product delivery lifecycle, starting from problem discovery to validating your hypothesis to finally checking the success of your product. You will need user feedback time and again. It's just that the way you capture feedback might change from time to time. If you're interested in building yourself as a PM, then please subscribe to this channel and refer to the description box below for more details. So today we'll be talking about user interviews. They can be especially useful during the start of a project when you're trying to decide what features to build or what is the opinion of people on the existing features, or you want to generally just get into more details on a specific topic. We'll be learning about the different types of user interviews, the benefits of each, and the do's and don'ts of conducting them. And make sure you stick around till the end of the video because I'll be walking you through a case study that will help you learn faster. User interview is a process where a researcher asks questions and records the responses of the users. There are two types of user research mechanisms widely used. The first one are in-depth interviews. An in-depth interview is an interview with one person which is aimed at discovering answers to surface level problems. It is for this reason that these interviews are quite long. The second one is a focus group discussion where we collect 6 to 10 people of common background or interest. The agenda behind this is to understand how ideas are socially constructed. Now that we know about both of these methods, how to pick which is suitable for you? In-depth interviews are more useful when your questions are more exploratory and you want to understand the personal views of your user. For example, you were the founder of an edtech startup and you wanted to understand the views of your users on online training. On the other hand, focus groups are more useful when you want to collect information about a group of users in a more coherent manner. For example, after World War II, Chrysler did a focus group with a group of women and figured that they have more contribution to the decision of buying a car. Hence, they started advertising to them. Though both are very different type of interviews, the process of conducting one is very similar. Step 1. Setting goals and objectives. You should be very clear on what is the objective of your research. For example, in the case that we discussed before, you wanted to understand how people perceive online training. Step 2. Recruiting participants. You want to make sure that the participants are representative of your user set. For example, for the case that we discussed before, you might want to have two sets of people. The first, those who have tried online learning and not liked it. Second, those who have tried it and liked it. Number 3. Setting up your interview logistics. There are two core things to be careful about over here. Number 1. Have someone with you to take notes or to record the session so that you don't miss out on important insights. Number 2, surrounding environment might impact your participants. For example, if you call them to your office, they might be more inclined to give you a positive feedback. So make sure you call them to a neutral place. And fourth, and the most important one, writing your interview questions. Here, there are 3 things to consider. The first one is don't ask leading questions. A leading question may lead to biased or false answers. An example of a leading question is, why do you think our platform is good for you? Here I've already hinted to the interviewee that I'm expecting a positive response. Number 2, avoid jargons in all cases. For example, people may generally get confused when you use industry terms like LTV. Number 3, please test your questions so that they are understandable. You can probably use your family or friends for this. So this covers the 5 steps to set up impactful interviews. A couple of things that you need to be careful about before running your interviews. Number 1, make sure that your users feel heard. Don't rush the interview, let them complete their answers and ask them more and more questions about what they said and why they said it. Since there's a significant need of interpretation, biases can easily come up. So make sure that you have at least one more moderator with you to help minimize this risk. Thirdly, the discussion may become more sidetracked or irrelevant. This can happen more so in the case of focus group discussions. There are 2 ways to solve for it. The first one is to call more similar people to a discussion so that no single person feels intimidated. And the second one is to have 2 or more moderators with you so that you have more control over the focus group. And finally, participants may give answers that they think that the interviewers want. So make sure that you don't ask any leading question. So this is user interviews in a nutshell. As promised at the beginning of the video, we will now do the case study to understand it more clearly. So here's the case study. You own the referral program at Airbnb and you have noticed that the customer referrals have gone down. In this situation, the first reaction would be to understand what are the core reasons for the decline, and what better than a user interview to understand this, right? So let's get started. Step 1, understanding your goal. In this case, why people are referring less. Step 2, recruiting participants. To make sure they're representative, you might have to recruit 3 sets of users. First, those who have referred before but are not referring now. 2, those who have referred before and are referring now. And 3, those who have never referred. Step 3, setting up the logistics. Make sure that you cover all the points that I have mentioned before. Step 4, setting up questions. You might also want to refer to another video of mine which is popping up on the screen right now. It covers how to set up questions for surveys. In this case, I think the following 4 questions might be useful. How would you rate our referral program? Why did you rate it the way you did it? Which referral program do you appreciate? How does our referral program compare to it? These questions will give you valuable insight about your referral program and will also help you understand what people like in a program and where does your program match in comparison. Finally, step 5, go crazy with your insights. There you have it, user interviews in a nutshell. I know it can be tricky at first, but the more you do it, the more confident you'll get. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll try to help if I can. And if you're even keen on building user empathy, then please check out the videos of this series by clicking on the links mentioned on the screen right now. Thanks for watching this video and I'll see you soon.